Hi there, this is Nancy Epezu, and today I'll be teaching on 21st century skills for 21st century school administration. Well, I get asked by people sometimes, what skills do I need? I know you can easily Google these things. What skills do I need to be a great school administrator? Maybe struggling on the job in one way or the other, or I've just got a job as a school administrator and I do not even know what to do. So today I'll be taking us on skills that you need to have. They're not exhaustive, but they will really guide you if you're able to develop these skills if you're going to be a great school administrator. So here, let's go. I'm going to share my slides right away. And I'm going to share my slides right away. So thank you. I think I should make it a mode here. Make it the reading mode, yeah. Reading mode, so that will be, all right. So I'm Nancy Ekpezu, like I said earlier. I've been a school administrator in 4 reputable schools, and I led, to their development. I'm the founder of the Facebook group Educational Administration Network, and we're currently over 15,000. And I'm sorry for those of you in the group, it hasn't been a very active one lately. I intend to get back to it. I've been working behind the scene on quite a number of things. I'm the author of 3 amazing books: Dear Educator, The School Administrator's Companion, and Effective Boarding House Administration. And all 3 books are available in print format, paperback edition, and you can get them or delivered to you anywhere in Nigeria, or alternatively, you can get them from Amazon. Just type in Nancy Ekpezu on Amazon, and all my books will show, and you can make your choice from there. I'm also the lead consultant at Pezu Smith Educational Services, and this organization is focused on helping schools to develop administration and management. So we train at school administrators, we prepare people for the role, those who have been in the classroom and want to transit to school administration. We also do school audits. We come to check your audits, to audit your administration and the processes you have to see that they're actually running effectively and that your school will be sustainable if they keep those processes. We train management staff on performance management. We also help you to put performance management in place for your organization. So that's it about me and my organization. So what are the objectives for this training? We're going to be looking at the skills that you need to function effectively in 21st century school administration. And that is it, basically. Okay, so one of the key skills, I'm just going to go ahead straight to the skills. In another video, I'll be doing the functions that you play, the roles you play as a school administrator. But today's is just about the skills that you need to develop. So one of the core skills would be communication skills. It's a core function of any administrator to communicate. Or if something happens, you need to send messages to parents, to the teachers, or to the admin team, or to the students, or even to vendors or the outside world, the Ministry of Education. You really need to develop your communication skills. And when I say communication skills, I'm not just talking about your speaking skills or writing. It has to be the totality of everything communication, which includes writing, speaking, and of course your body language, and always making sure that the right message is passed on to the people all of the time. Sometimes as a school administrator, or an administrator in any organization, you might send out a message and be getting a contrary feedback from the people, and you're wondering, oh, is it what I said? Or sometimes it is how you say it. It's about making people comfortable to be able to receive even feedback from you. So communication could be verbal, it could be written, it could also be just your body language. And you cannot be an effective administrator if you do not communicate, okay? You need to send out newsletters. You need to do a lot of emails. You need to do a lot of slow mails, letters, and all of these require communication. So yes, one of the key skills you need to develop even in the 21st century is communication. And this also involves communicating even on social media platforms, because your school will have those kind of platforms. And if you're not the one directly doing it, I guess you'll be too busy to be the ones actually handling that. But you will have someone that you've delegated to do it, and you need to be sure that they've been trained to do it properly. You also need to have a good level of self-awareness if you're going to be a great school administrator. Okay, remember, even though it's administration, there's some level of leadership involved in administration and also some level of management. So you need to understand yourself and define your leadership style. For me, I actually do more coaching than bossing people and telling them what to do. In as much as I pass directives, I work with people to define goals for the organization, and I also coach them. I remember on my last job, I had to even share personal experiences on every Tuesday when I had my meeting with the senior leadership team, because I was overseeing, a cluster of 3 schools made up of the early years, the primary, and then the secondary. And I had to mentor and coach the heads of schools in the elementary, primary, and the secondary. So you need to understand yourself and also define your leadership style. For me, I'm melancholic, naturally in nature. And one of the things I do is that I pay a lot of attention to details. I'm very good with planning and all of that. And so it comes into my leadership style as well, teaching my team a lot of these things. I'm also very calm in my demeanor usually, and I don't remember screaming at people in the course of leading them. I find a way to always discipline, but from a place of love, and also to stretch my team to achieve goals. Okay, and the feedback I always get when I lead people is that, oh, wow, I'm a better version of myself for meeting you. And so I'm not the kind of loud administrator who is all over the place. I have my management and my leadership style, and it works very well. I like to have serenity and calmness in the organizations I lead. I like people to enjoy peace while they work, but at the same time stretch them. Yes. And so you must always remember this. You cannot lead other people's success until you take responsibility for your own life and you lead yourself successfully. Then you need to have self-confidence. And by self-confidence, I'm not talking about this, being rude or brash. You have to have that inner self-confidence that tells you that you can do it. You need to develop your inner self-talk. Okay, school administration could be pretty tough with some of the politics and some things that go on. And so you need to constantly tell yourself that, look, I can do this. I was chosen to do this job. So show self-confidence and do not allow any self-derogatory inner dialogue rob you of the privilege of leading and being the administrator. So you cannot achieve much as a leader or manager if you lack self-confidence. So you must constantly work on your self-esteem. If you do not believe in yourself as a leader or as a manager, then who else is going to believe in you? Okay, and when I say self-confidence, I'm not talking about bragging and being loud. I'm talking about that inner convincing, that inner work that says, yes, I can do it, and it exudes in everything that you do. You also need to develop your planning and organizational skills. As a school administrator, you must work on your organizational skills. When you are disorganized, it leads to wasted time, it leads to lost productivity, and it leads to frustration on your team. If you're not organized, you see files flying everywhere, you see documents not being found where they should be found, you see things just going haywire and out of sync, and that's not representative of a great school administrator. So you need to learn to plan, you need to learn to project things, what can go wrong, what we do here. I remember when I took over one of my jobs, by the way, I've been a school administrator in 4 reputable schools, in 4 cities in Nigeria, and in each of them I led greatly to their development. And so my last job, when I took over, I remember planning around safety and telling everybody that we needed to have fire drills and everybody to be trained on how to use the fire extinguisher and all of that. And my team said, no, 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 that's not necessary. For some reason, I insisted, and you would not believe it. I think about a month later, we had a fire incident in the kitchen. And it was this same team that I had taught how to do it that ended up putting it out before they even came to call me. So they knew what to do. That meant I had planned ahead. I had foreseen that if this should happen or that should happen, this is how we're going to react. So you need to be proactive and also learn to plan as a school administrator. There are times to listen to your people and there are times to insist that I think this should be done. This is what I'm planning for you people. These are the trainings you need to take and insist on them. They might not like you at that moment, but believe me, someday they're going to appreciate it like they always do when I've left a place. So when you're disorganized, it leads to wasted time. You need to be organized. You need to think ahead. You need to organize. You need to pay attention to all the detail in between. And that brings me to another skill you must have, which is attention to detail. Any job advert you see for school administrators must always have the quality or the skill attention to detail because of how important it is. So being a school administrator means you'll be dealing with a myriad of documents, emails, information, people, and a lot more. And sometimes you may have to sign documents that could put you into trouble if you do not read what we call the little lines, the little letters, because that's where the devil usually is in documents, okay? Therefore, it's only expected that you need to pay attention to detail to function effectively. This skill can put you into trouble if you do not have it. A lack of it can put you into trouble, trust me, because a lot of documents come your way, a lot of things happen in the school. And even paying attention to detail is beyond just paying attention to written documents. It involves even being sensitive to everything that happens around you and taking notes and knowing how to plan and what to do. Collaborating and networking skills. Even if you're an introvert like me, believe me, nobody is an island. Collaboration enables you to work together with others to achieve the desired purpose. And you do not only need to collaborate with those within your organization, but you need to extend this to other school leaders and professionals outside your organization, okay? So you need to learn to network within the organization, and I'm not talking about forming political cliques within the organization. I'm talking about networking for the good of the organization. You need to collaborate. That's the way to go in the 21st century, okay? By the way, I have a meeting this evening with someone who's trying to collaborate with me on a project. So no matter your temperament, no matter your personality or outlook to life, one of the things you need to work on as a school administrator or a manager is collaboration and networking skills. You cannot do it alone, and don't let anyone deceive you that you can do it alone. You certainly cannot. Another would be your critical thinking. There's so many different issues that will be presented to you daily that require your input or decision making. And you cannot just take a decision out of sentiment or brashly or in a hurry. You need to think them through. And the quality that will help you take quality decisions is actually critical thinking. That is the skill that you need. So you need to learn to think things through properly, evaluate and analyze them to give your judgment on any issue. This will earn you the respect of your employers and your subordinates. So your thinking process and interpretation of any process or any situation must be thorough, because whatever decision you take affects your organization eventually, whether it is in hiring, whether it is in laying off people, whether it is in even planning ahead. You need to always think things through. You need to think on your feet, actually, as a school administrator. You could get to a saying sometimes as you're doing your checks around the school and see that, wow, this area I need to take a decision right now, even maybe to make a policy about it or to let go of one policy. You need to always think things through, okay? Another would be the problem-solving skills. This skill will be useful when you remember that you were hired to solve problems in the first place. Every employer wants an employee who brings solutions to the problems they have observed instead of constantly complaining and grumbling about them. I'm sure you know that employee of yours or that subordinate who is constantly griping and complaining and grumbling. They are not usually your favorite on the team, because you look forward to having people on your team who think, people who come in with their contribution and ideas and what can be done. Those are the people you want around. The people who say, no, it can be done. Let's find a way around it. Who come up with solutions, not the ones who constantly complain. And by the way, as a school administrator, whatever goes wrong in your organization is actually your responsibility. And so instead of complaining about what the previous administrator did or didn't do, rise up and bring your problem-solving skills to the fore. Okay, now what's the next one? Emotional intelligence. Your social skills reflect your level of emotional awareness and intelligence. And improving your emotional intelligence will improve your efficiency and effectiveness as a school administrator and leader. Trust me, I've been a school administrator in 4 schools, and I know how important emotional intelligence is. It can make or mar you on the position, because a lot of times we come in with our technical skills and we are really good. You have all the skills, you can organize, you can do this, you're intelligent. But if you're not emotionally intelligent to handle the pressure that comes on the position, trust me, there will be a lot of problems and you're going to run into problems. So you need to learn how to manage emotions, how your emotions affect others, how your presence, how the impact that it has on your team. You bring in a positive energy. How do people view you? How do they perceive you? What's their perception of you? How are you relating with them socially? Are they accepting you on the team, or is everybody saying they do not want you to be their school administrator? So these are things that you need to also look at. Then, of course, you have to have an in-depth knowledge of the industry that you operate in. And if you're a school administrator, we do not need a soothsayer to tell you that you actually operate in the education space. So you must never be the kind of administrator who is left behind in terms of trends and recent developments in the education industry. And you must engage in a lot of research, a lot of reading and networking that will help you keep up with the trends so that you can always contribute to the improvement of your school. And I must tell you, there are lots of courses you can attend and lots of networking events where you can get access to what's really going on in the sector, okay? And then numeracy skills. I'm very good with communication. I'm very good with writing, but I must confess that I really struggled initially with numeracy skills as a young administrator. And I had to learn because I had to work closely with the bosses or the accountants and to always know what was going on with the school's finances. And so you need to understand that you need to understand figures in terms of planning and budgeting, making estimates and analyzing budgets. You need to be able to interpret charts, graphs, tables, and defend the figures that you present, maybe to the stakeholders. How is the growth rate going? You need to be able to plot the graph. How many were we 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22 now? How are we declining? What was the rate of fee collection? What is our budget for next year? How did we stick to our budget last school year? Was the money enough? Did we make gain or were we running at a loss? How much did we make? All of these details are things that you need to develop, and they're called numeracy skills, okay? You need to have a feedback mechanism. Find ways of receiving regular feedback from parents, students, and of course the staff that you lead. Sometimes you might just think you're doing the best and you're the best administrator in the entire world, but guess what? Sometimes your team might not be thinking that of you. As great as my team thinks that I'm a good administrator, there have been times that they had to tell me, oh, Ms. Nancy, I think we could have done this in this way, or we could have tried it this way. So you need to be able to listen to them. And remember, communication skills also involves listening. And so you must have a strong feedback mechanism where you have people feeding. And I'm not talking about a grapevine where people come to gossip to you. That happens a lot where people form cliques and someone to exclude others and have you to themselves and tell you who said what about you and who didn't say what. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about constructing constructive feedback that comes from your staff or the parents or students in a way that allows you to perform better when you need to do the same thing. And this needs to be regular. You might want to do that by sending surveys. You might want to do that by calling people into your office to interview. You might give them an email where they can just send you details or things that they think could be done better, or where they're not happy with the system or whatever. Okay, that could help even with staff retention, that could help in customer service, and that could help in a whole lot of other areas in the school. Then, of course, you need to develop your leadership skills. Yes, we say you're an administrator and you must have managerial skills, but you remember that you need to have leadership skills. So even though administration deals primarily with systems and resources, you'll be working with people. And so you need to know how to lead them properly. Administration, basically, you'll be doing a lot of dealing with resources, dealing with money, dealing with recruitment process and this, but it's people that eventually you're going to work with to get all of this done. And you cannot work with them effectively if you do not have leadership skills. So you need to develop your leadership skills. Always remember that. And the way you lead, remember, you need to define your leadership style and what works for you and the exact organization where you are. You need to also develop diplomacy and tact. I do not like to see administrators who yell at everything. Oh, well, stay, get over here. Don't you know I'm the administrator? And all of that. You need to, I like the calmness that I exude when I lead teams. Sorry, I'm trying to get my water. I like the calmness that I exude when I lead teams. And the fact that I can say the most serious things with diplomacy and tact, so you need these two skills as you need to be sensitive to the feelings of the people that you lead. You must know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it, no matter how true or how much of a fact it is. People have feelings. And to work with them, if you're constantly wounding them with your words every day and being brash, eventually you're going to lose it. They're going to lose it with you, and they will not want to connect with you or cooperate with you to have a strong administration. Of course, your social skills, you need to develop them, and that comes from developing your emotional intelligence. So you won't go far with too many people daily if you lack social skills. You come across too many people. You deal with the school board if you have one, you deal with your employer. If you are not the employer and the school administrator, you have an employer. You deal with the teachers, you deal with the admin team, the caterers, the school nurses, the gate men, the nannies, the caregivers, the cleaners, too many people, Ministry of Education, quality assurance, all sorts of things, the associations you need to join, your vendors, the people who come to take taekwondo and all of the other stuff. Too many people. So you need to develop social skills. You need to have some grace to your position so that people don't start antagonizing everything that you do, okay? You need to have a heart of service. This one I need to emphasize. Sacrifice is the name of the game when it comes to school leadership and administration. Let me just announce it to you in case you're new to the game. It's called sacrifice. SACRIFICE, sacrifice. That is the name of the game if you're going to be in school administration. So if you do not have a heart of service, it's soon going to show. You need to love the children, you need to love the staff, you need to love your employers, you need to love what you do. And very importantly, you need to sacrifice to do what you love, okay? And it could show in the way of you spending extra hours and doing even things that are not in your job description just to make sure that things are done. And sometimes inconveniencing yourself. I remember once I was meant to just have a quiet holiday in Dubai, and I quietly had to cancel it because so many things had come up. And even though I was going to delegate somewhere like a bit new to the system, and there were things I was going to handle, and I had to postpone it. It's called sacrifice, that is it. So, and there were times I had to wake up very early to be in the boarding house just to see what they were doing. I remember sleeping over in the boarding house once or twice. I remember sleeping even in my office. Nobody knew about that bit just to get his deadline going. Okay, so it's called sacrifice, and some of the things behind the scene, nobody's ever going to know, and nobody's ever going to say thank you for for some of the things you do. So remember that sometimes it's a thankless job, but always keep yourself going and be motivated. That's why you need to be sure that you're doing what you love. Okay, and if you do not you're not doing what you love, then begin to love what you do. That's the only way you can stay in school administration, or else you will be frustrated. You need to develop your computer and IT skills. So you certainly don't want to, you'll not be able to survive, talk more, thrive in a 21st century school if you do not have strong IT skills. You need to develop your IT skills. You need to be able to print, type, do basic things, use your computer, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint. I'm using PowerPoint for you now. Yeah, you need to even basic designs, on Canva, post on my wall, little things here and there. Get to know them. Know the apps that work, that get things done, okay? And be able to make recommendations, or at least liaise with people who know them so they can teach you and you can harness, these resources to make things work. A lot of research needs to be done, emails need to be sent or received daily, reports need to be sent, documents need to be updated, most things, so many things. You should be able to know storage, how to create digital and paper files. You should be able to work digitally. You should be able to lead a virtual team, And then, of course, your appearance is important, very, very important. It forms a crucial component of your executive presence for your job. And yes, sometimes I do jeans to the office. I might just throw a blazer, wear nice shoes, but you also need that corporate look sometimes. You basically, whatever style of appearance you choose, make sure it's something that is comfortable with you and suits the environment where you work. I've been in an environment where I had to wear suits every day. It was a British school. I've also been in an environment where jeans were fine and that was acceptable, and I was fine with it too. I've done sneakers to the office. I've done cut shoes. I've done basically anything. It all depends on the environment where I am the school administrator. I've been in a very conservative school where I had to do mainly dresses, corporates and all of that. But it all depends. But choose a professional appearance that works for the environment where you are, okay? And appear neat and presentable and befitting for the position. You should also be able to manage a remote team. Okay, with teams working remotely recently, there's a need for every administrator to know how to manage a virtual or remote team. And this includes knowing how to assign tasks and determine the productivity of the staff while they work remotely and effectively. Okay, you have to know ways of communicating with them, storing files, assigning tasks, having them sign online. You need to be able to you need to be familiar with the technology and the tools required to get the job done. Okay, so by the way, there's a whole topic of this that I actually shared in my book, The School Administrator's Companion. And if you do not have this book yet, I am wondering what you're waiting for, because this book is a great, great one, and it has helped lots of people in their school administration journey. I've got amazing testimonials, amazing feedback about this. So if you have questions, please type them in the comments. I'll come back to answer them, I promise. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Nancy Ekpezu, for videos on school administration and management. Remember also to connect with me, get to my website, www.nancyekpezu.com. I have a blog there where I share content on school administration and management. You can send me a WhatsApp on +234 803 5880367. You can send me an email at info@nancyekpezu.com. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn, on YouTube, or my Facebook group, Educational Administration Network. You can also check out my Facebook page, Nancy Ekpezu, or Educational Administration with Nancy. So thank you. This book goes for 4,800 Naira if you're in Nigeria, and we deliver to your doorstep. You don't need to go to the motor park to pick it from a bus driver. I'm sorry. I don't mean to degrade those who do that. That's fine with the arrangement, but my books are delivered to your doorstep. I use a very reputable organization, and they will have it delivered to your home or to your office. So thank you for watching this episode of Administration with Nancy. This is another of my books. If you have a boarding house, Effective Boarding House Administration is 5,000 Naira. It's available in paperback, and we also deliver to your doorstep. It's a guide to operating boarding houses, and it has come on really handy for those who have boarding houses. I'm currently in Abuja. I've sold all the copies of The Educator I came with, so I don't have any to show you here, but this is what it looks like. And it is sold for 3,800 Naira. It was my first book, published in 2019, and it's been amazing. I've got amazing feedback. It's been sold in all the states in Nigeria. I've had clients buy from all the states in the country. And I'm so blessed and happy to be the author of this phenomenal and amazing book. And I hope you'll be a happy owner of the book and someone who testify about how useful it's been to you as well. Go to my website and read the feedback from those who have read it. I look forward to shipping your copy to you. So thank you, and thank you. Okay, thank you so much. And make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. I look forward to the next episode with you. And remember to type your questions in the comments. I'll come back and attend to the questions. Thank you for having me, and bye for now.